Hello and welcome to the Trade Ideas Live Trading Room recap for Friday, October the 9th. My name is Barry Anderson. I'm the moderator of the room. This is the address to get into the room, open from 9 to 4. As I say all the time, I'll hang around a little bit afterwards to answer some questions. And let's get into it. Today, unfortunately, was kind of a boring day for me anyway. I'm going to go over only a couple of trades. Let me just bring up the TI chart. Let's get down to say a 15-minute and bring up Costco. Oops. And Costco did come from one of our AI strategies, and there were a lot of them, and I'm just going to go over the one that I really, really missed badly. Some in the room took it. Luckily, I did get in way late, made a little bit of money on it, but Costco was one of those that actually triggered yesterday also. And let me see if I can remember where it. Let me just have to find it where it was. Move it off that monitor. It's a little easier for me to deal with another monitor. I can move around and not worry about accidentally. Here we go. So it was relatively early at 9:46, and the trigger was 152.33. And again, this triggered yesterday, and I watched it. Let's take a look at the daily on Costco. Let me get rid of the symbol linking. Okay, let me look at the daily on Costco. And you see the day it had yesterday. And it had about, I think the trigger was around here, and it had a nice $2 or $3 move off that. And it was fairly steady. And it's not a matter of missing it. I was, doing other things. We had some wonderful, inexpensive ones on the penny pump alert window. And so, but when it triggered again today, I was decided I had to take it. So, took it right here, 152.76. Let me just zoom out just a little bit. So I took it at, I get the crosshairs. Okay, I took it at 152.76. Say right about here. And again, the alert was at 152.41. So a little bit late, but it's a $152 stock. And I was really hoping to get $1, and I actually probably would have had I held it. This one is actually a hold until 3:30. Now I didn't do that. I sold some at 153.31 right around here, and the rest just before it went down below 153. I sold it. Figured it was over, but it has had a nice bounce. But so for me, it'll be interesting to see how it actually does close at 3:30. So that was that one. Um, I had a couple of losses. PCRX was also an alert. And I noticed it's up now, but it was very, very, very choppy. It was actually took it at right in this area of 41.63, and but it was very, very whippy as you can see, and I exited for a loss at 41.46. And it came again from one of the strategies, but this is a bio, and it was really moving with the IBB. Unfortunately, it was moving too much. But interestingly, again, although I think it would have been stopped out, I think I would have been stopped out. But it is now over that trigger price of 41.63. So, but it was just a little too whippy for me. Now, the one that, well, there's a couple of the small ones. Disappointing, no question, because some of these really from this penny pumper, these three strategies really gave us some excellent, excellent trades the last couple of days. Probably the last 4 days have been really some really nice ones. But the problem, and I'm just going to show you, this is one that I did take, FMSA, and you see that the alert was actually at $3.15. So I was in right about here, right about there. And you can see that it had a little bit of a pop. And why I liked it, as I said yesterday, I don't normally play these inexpensive ones, but if I'm going to play them, a lot of it will depend on what the daily chart looks like. So when you look at the daily chart, this is what I'm looking at. So you see this nice void all the way to 412, lots of open space right above. So that is what got me very interested in taking the trade. Unfortunately, it didn't work, obviously. The volume was just, to be honest with you, was just kind of putrid. It didn't really, the other ones like the KERX, um, what is the other one that I know there's another one. I just can't remember. I'm sorry, but there are some other ones. The smaller ones, they had lots and lots of volume, like millions of shares, or certainly half a million, and then accelerating once when we saw the alert. And this one just didn't have it, and so it just basically ran out of steam. Simple as that. This one really disappointed me because I really thought that it might, even though again it's not, it was low volume, but again, look at the daily chart on it. So perfect. I mean, this is what you want to see. All this void on top of it. So $6. So when you get an alert at 4:59, let me bring up the 15-minute chart. So this was the alert right here and say right there. And the problem is, I mean, you couldn't, that spike happened so quickly and then it came down. But I actually was relatively optimistic. These are 15-minute candles. So there's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's almost a 2-hour consolidation at this level. And I was hoping that, eventually that I know the one was. It was zinc. Just show you zinc. This is what we were kind of hoping for, that maybe this was just kind of a cooling down period and then it would accelerate towards the end of the day. Because if you look at zinc, zinc was the other one, was one that triggered yesterday. And so if you look at, let's see, right here, this is yesterday. This is yesterday's action. So, right there, I think the alert was around 380, 382. Obviously did nothing for the longest period of time. And then at 145, started getting a little bit of a pop. And so from 383 all the way to 466, I mean, almost a dollar on a sub $5 stock. So that's why I didn't want to lose sight of the FCSC. That's why I didn't want to lose sight of it. It just didn't work. And again, its volume was nothing like Zinc's, but you just never know. All of a sudden, for whatever reason why all this happened, maybe it could have happened again later on. So there was no harm in watching it. Didn't take the trade, so just didn't get into it. And hopefully on Monday, though, we'll start to see more of these with volume and a good looking daily chart. That will get me absolutely into those trades. All right, this is the one, unfortunately, that I missed early. I did end up taking it. As I told the room, I didn't, sorry, a little bit sluggish. Took the trade right around here, way, way late, 20, I think 38. Sold some up here, and that was it. But the big move was obviously earlier, and we were alerted to it right. Just got to find it. I just got to drag. Sorry, just got to drag it in. So here was the alert. It was an opening range break at 1783, and I posted it in the room. And here's the time stop, in theory, holding it to the almost at the end of the day. Well, 3 o'clock, an hour before the market closed. So 1783, and I posted it, but I didn't take the trade. I thought it was maybe perhaps a little too extended, as this was what I was looking at. And so unfortunately, I did not take the trade at this point, and it just look at that. I mean, it ran almost $3. So I did take it when it broke over $20, so I did make a little bit of money on it, but certainly not like I should have. So that was one that I certainly can say that got away from us. But we did a little survey in the room, and a few people were able to take the trade based on my post. So at least that happened. And I just want to look at one other. Helps if you don't put a comma in. I've been kind of following this one, seeing if it can slide down a little bit more. But at any rate, that is it. The only other one I want to point out is this crazy little one, this Fluidime. Fluidime is something that got absolutely hammered a few weeks ago, and from 20 all the way down to my goodness, down to 753. And on that day it happened, it went down to 13, and it's had a slide. We did have a little bit of an alert on it on another strategy, and you know. Half a mind that if it can stay here, let's take a look at the 15-minute chart. That's a little choppy. Let's take a look at the 30-minute chart. If it can stay in this area, consolidate right here. I may take a little bit of this just as a bit of a swing because, here's the consolidation area. By rights, I probably should wait for a bigger break out of here, but you've got a lot of room, even up to this area here, $12 from $9 and $9.50. So something to watch. If it doesn't happen, I would watch it on Monday. We did get an alert on it. I think the alert was around 960. It really didn't move off it. Again, kind of low volume. Um, but it's just something maybe you want to watch the next coming next week, just to see if it can pop out of here and start to regain some of its, some of this void that's right there. I mean, that's a beauty. I mean, it really is a beauty. I mean, you might say that maybe a little bit of a shelf there at 10. It's always going to be a struggle to get through 10, but certainly there is some room there. All right, that's it. Sorry, it's kind of a boring day in the room, unfortunately, unless you were in LL. But every day can't be like the last 2 days, especially with these with the penny ones. But I'm, hopefully they say that we can have this for everybody by Wednesday. So they're doing a massive test on the weekend on the AI strategy channel. I know they want to add some columns, a profit loss column, which will be really, really good to have because then at the end of the day, you can just click on any strategy and then you can quickly see how well that strategy did just based on the profit loss. It'll be excellent to have that. And going forward, then you can kind of make a determination about what strategies you might like to follow. All right, Canadian Thanksgiving on Monday, but as a Canadian, I know I should be taking it off, but of course I'll be in the room. Excuse me, I will be in the room and on Monday, so I hope to see you there. Again, here is how to get in. Here's the address. Usually there around quarter to nine. I'm on the mic at 9 o'clock, and again, I hang around for questions for about 10 to 20 minutes afterwards. All right, well, thank you for listening, and we'll see you in the room on Monday.